cancel all my meetings. Somebody on the internet is wrong. Well, there's always going to be somebody that's wrong. All right. That's not how change happens. Revolution happens on your feet. You know, we need less armchair activists, more people, you know, honestly taking the power back, like Webster. So, you know, what type of events to do? You know, here's 3 types of events. You know, obviously there are other, you know, subdivisions and sorts, but, you know, you can have features like the civil liberties tour that we had. You can create a movie like the 10 Rules for Dealing with the Police like we did. Or you can have, you know, do some street theater, do an activism event. You know, someone with a pig mask talking about the daylight, you know, something like that. So, you know, when you're choosing an event, you know, where you look, where you get some ideas. YAL has a lot of resources for this. So I'm going to actually exit the PowerPoint and show you some of these things on YAL's website. Because, you know, a lot of people in YAL support YAL's mission and want to do a lot of stuff, but are not familiar with how the website is laid out. Okay. So let's go to Resources tab. All kinds of stuff in here. Right? So there's a few places you can look to get some ideas if you don't already have something tremendous planned. So, you know, there's the Activism Ideas tab right there. And so, you know, YAL Lean, you know, we're making city policy, protesting CSA, do a candlelight vigil for $1, let's click on that. Yeah, I mean, you know, materials need steps, all kinds of good stuff there. But YAL also kind of archives the previous national activism events they've done as well. So let's go to, you know, spring of 2011. Let's actually report this on this. Right, so let's look at the Obama equals Bush event. So they put up the page when they referred to this event, but they still got it right here. Like the purpose of the event, all the materials they made for it, you know, steps for engaging students and earning media, you know, the questionnaire that you give to people, and like, you know, everything is still here. So it's archived. You can go back and look at it and use that. So let's get back to this. All right. So when you're planning your event, another leader in YAL has this expression that spontaneous order is spontaneous, not random. So you do have to plan out your event. You have to, divvy up tasks. You have to need to know who's doing what and what. So what is everybody's schedule? What does everybody have going on in their life? And what are people's skill sets? Who is somebody like a really talented photographer? They should be taking pictures. Is somebody like a really engaging people person? Put them at the front of the table. And, a well-planned event makes all the difference between a small free speech wall, which is good, and a really big free speech wall. And bigger is always better. A big activism event like that catches more eyes. People are going to notice that more. So when you're promoting your event, you want to get a map of the campus. You want to know every place you can put flyers, every single place. Mark every building that you can put flyers in. Go through there and look where there are already flyers. If there's some strange wall, if there's no reason there should be flyers on it, but there are, put a flyer on it. It's going to blend in. It won't get taken down. So, are there, bulletins, radio stations, other campus resources you can use to promote your event? Utilize them. A lot of these resources don't get used by student groups because most student groups don't know what they're doing. They're not trained. They're just people that came together because they believe in something but don't know really how to go about doing it. And that's why it needs to be different from that. So make sure everybody else in the Liberty movement knows about your event. Put together a statewide calendar, a regional-wide calendar, and be plugging everybody's events in there. So that's something we don't really have in Tennessee yet. There's something called the National Progressive Calendar, and all the progressives, they put all of their events on there, and so they all know about each other's events. We don't have that. Why don't we already have that?
Talk to you about it.
What now?
I can't talk to you about it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it.
I haven't done it yet.
So, ask your professors to offer extra credit for attending your event. We got people to attend the Michael Badner Constitution class because one professor was willing to offer extra credit. And if you ask a lot of professors, everybody in the group asks, you can get a lot of people to your event. Even if someone comes resident first, they might come away really wowed and invigorated. They may want to join your group, even if they have no idea about it. Free food. It's hard to do on our campus because Aaron Mark, draws a lot of strange rules, but I know at Vanderbilt, Kenny Cannon game, they have free pizzas at every meeting because they're just able to do that. The school reimburses them. If it's different for your campus, then do that. I mean, I've gone to meetings just to get the pizza. I can admit to that. Yeah, we've all done that. And your cause is noble, but it's more noble when it has pizza. All right. So earning media, assign a press director. This should be somebody that ideally is already involved in media, has some contacts. But if that's not the case, just somebody that's outgoing, dresses respectably, has people skills. And they're going to be responsible for making and sending out these press releases. They're going to be the face to the media, and this is really important. This is how you get in touch with the media and get coverage for your event. And Bonnie Christian can help with that. YAL has put together, media contact lists for all over the United States, every place. And you can email her, and she will help you make a press release, walk you through every step of that, and she will send you a contact list and help you send it out. She also has a very helpful presentation on earned media that was given at last year's national convention that I included a link to in the sheet that I have down. So, cabling. What is cabling? I realized I recently got into the jargon term that's not a conventional word. But, you're recruiting your members. And a lot of groups have, like, a little table and they have a sheet or two on it. They've got a little paper sign. And they're sitting back here. And they're texting. And if somebody walks up, like, we're the, what's our group called again? And they're not really engaged in the process, right? And you don't want to be that person.
Did that to me too.
Hey, Lily. I will make it learn to love it. So, things you want to have for tabling. You want to have a nice tablecloth. You want to have, everything you want to have on the table. You want to have magazines, bring books and literature. Don't charge for them. It's hard enough to get people to read things without charging for them. Unless they're especially expensive, like a coffee was easy to find, you don't find those out. They're expensive. Have your sign-up sheets, your pens, and get stolen all the time. And the only thing that I can think of that when someone picks it up and puts it in their hand, they don't think, oh, who does this belong to? Doesn't matter how nice the pen is, it will go in your pocket, right? So if you can have to use it, it's kind of a double-edged sword. If someone doesn't like to use your playing, they might not like your table, but music makes it interesting. Maybe techno, maybe Gaga, I don't know. Depends on your game. So have something interesting with your table. Students see tables all the time, every day, probably. So, have an Operation Stoically Homeless quiz, have a free speech wall, have something else with your table, have some street theater, have something that makes it interesting. People need to wonder, what are those yellers doing this week, right? And you need to have your large, easy-to-see banner. And, ideally, you can even have it elevated above the table somehow, at eye level. We haven't reconstructed our apparatus to do that yet, but so things not to have. Don't have a contagion. Don't have the losing cough. Don't have something that don't look sticky. People are not going to want to come and talk to you. I will. So don't have a tiny sign that's hard to read. Don't have scanty amounts of materials with nothing on the table. The table needs to look interesting and something you want to engage with. You don't look bored. Again, don't be sitting at the table like this. Texting. You're just here between classes, right? No, that's not how you want to do it. And don't have chairs. Chairs are not helpful. Bring a chair to rest in every hour or two, but chairs offer the excuse of hiding behind the table, hiding from the people that you're talking to. And if I'm up here and I'm giving handing you a copy of a book, you're going to be much more likely to take it with you and read it. If I'm handing you the clipboard and saying, can you do me a favor and sign this petition to bring speaker to campus? You're already signing. Yeah. Okay. So you'll stand out because nobody else does on campus. Nobody. It's very rare that anybody else is not sitting in their chair looking moderately interested in what you're doing. Baking in the sun. Sweating. So being assertive helps. So what do you do when people come up to the table? Don't be scared. They come up to the table most likely because they're interested, they're curious, they wondered why you had a dancing robot, they wondered, what are you doing? Who are you? So just explain who you are, what you're doing. Have your petitions ready. Have them take the political quiz. You don't have much time, just keep the basics, move them through, and let them go on their way because they've got a life to live. Right? But, if you get their contact information and you're interested, they'll come to your meeting. If you send them the email and call them. Calling them is important. But yeah, look at these pictures. Which table looks more attractive? The one down here with is that number that's going on, or the one up there with all the nice material, with the tablecloth, that has the people on it? Show of hands, number one.